Well, I'm sorry, I'm one of these that goes to the doctor when it's generally necessary. I mean, I am one of these goes for every pill, potion and tablet that there is. You know, if I know what's the matter with me, I mean, I expect the doctor to do something about it. I won't be fobbed off by them. I can't do with sputum and I can't do very much with feet. I can't do anything with anybody's feet. I've all on doing anything with my own, and sputum really makes my stomach turn over. You know. I don't mind vomit.
The big black mask. Oh. You can see it coming towards your face, and the smell of the rubber, and having all my bottom teeth filled without anaesthetic. Dentists. Just brutal. Really brutal.
Got a small scar on my forehead where a child threw a brick at me. Well, it seemed like a brick at the time, but... And I've got a scar here.
I have no scars whatsoever anywhere. Have I? In fact, you count that as a scar. It's only a little...
Well, it is a scar, yeah.
Well, I don't count it as a scar, so...
Do you not?
No.
It's great. I love smiling. I love being happy and jovial, telling jokes, being the butt end of jokes. But hey, now I can do it with a mouthful of teeth, and I'm really looking forward to it.
The thing that excites me about performing is that it's a release of any tensions that you might have inside you. You've got to communicate with the audience, but not to look at them, because you are apart from them, and it will break the illusion.
I had to stand on one leg and do a raspberry, go arse over, what's it, in front of 250 people. And I bonked my head. I thought it was a goner. And I heard them, as I hit the floor, go, and it was weird, because it like took off. I just like flew. And I was just so embarrassed. I was like, no, I'm fine, just get back on, I'm fine.
The one I first saw when I was a little kid was called Doodles. Yes, I like the clowns. I like slapstick. If there aren't a few butterflies around in the tummy before you go on stage, you're probably not going to give a good performance. You've got to be keyed up. That's something I hadn't really considered, appearing on television. But if the chance came, yes. Yes, it would be a new dimension. Yeah.
They use mice, don't they, for things?
What, eyeliner?
It's not nice, really, is it?
What, lipstick on a Yorkshire Terrier?
Oh, no.
You start Monday, Tuesday, you do mornings. Wednesday, Thursday, you do afternoons. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you do nights. But I've done this, you don't know if you're coming or going. Every 2 days, you've got to change your sleep pattern. It's awful.
You can't be morbid, else you wouldn't be able to do the work. You've got to have a laugh and a joke. You have a joke, you know. It's just you or them, isn't it? It is animal instinct there.
I do everything in my power to avoid having to go out in the garden. It's just not my cup of tea at all. Boring, dirty, cold, wet, generally, out here. Do you want to say something, Mother? No, please don't. Just go back in your little... I do apologise.
I like gardening, but I'd like to do more. I'd like to have the time. I love to see things grow. I love to design things.
Oh yeah, gardening, you know, it's not an easy job. You know, when you're digging all day, you know, the old back tends to suffer at the end of the day. You make it as easy as you can, really.
Slugs, in my opinion, they're ugly looking things, but they're probably eating other creatures, aren't they? So they're probably doing your garden good to leave them.
I don't think they are actually doing your garden good.
Are they not?
They're eating... If they eat your leaves,
I know
things,
nothing about
they can
gardening.
wreck your plants. That's why they make slug pellets.
Oh well, yeah, you're
They
right.
don't make worm pellets.
Silly old me, I know.
I suppose the next one along is a caterpillar, which seems a shame when you think a caterpillar turns into such a beautiful thing. But a caterpillar can make such a mess of it, you know, a lot of plants, you know, with leaves munched away again. They're about number one on the hit list of slugs, crawling and sliming across leaves and eating. You know, not very good. You follow him on, you just see these silvery trails.
The trouble with the foods we eat now, there's too much fat in them. And the worst thing that happens in this country, there's too many people eat chips.
Ooh, egg and chips, egg chips, gammon, chip butties.
I mean, at lunchtime, instead of kiddies going down and buying a couple of apples or a couple of pears, what do? They go to the chip shops and buy chips. And when they get home at night, they have chips again.
Dog and cat food.
It smells absolutely disgusting,
Well,
doesn't
it's
it?
very strong.
Horrible.
It's very strong.
There are one or two foreign foods that do have rice pudding, proper pizzas. You know, like some of the deep pan pizzas.
Whelks mussels. That's like eating slugs.
Is it?
Oysters and stuff.
Well, I've never
Brilliant.
tasted a slug.
Ugh, sliding down your gullet.
But you don't eat slugs,
Like
do you?
eating a slug.
Well, how do you know when you've never had one?
That's how I would imagine it to be.
As long as it's filling and barely edible, I'll pretty much eat it. I'm always too hungry to be picky.
We went to a friend's last weekend, and this poor little hamster's in this wheel thing for its exercise.
Well, it had a little car. It was a Volkswagen
Yeah.
Beetle with a wheel in the middle, and it actually, by working the wheel, moved across the carpet.
At the end of the day, most of it's the U factor, the R factor, you know. That's, oh, look at that, you know. Cute little kitten.
I think cats make good pets.
There's quite a lot of cats with bad breath, though. That's what I don't like about them.
Cats?
Yeah.
Everyone gets rejection in life. When you're younger, you're more able to actually cope with that, I think, and bounce back. And you're not on the shelf for long.
I want
No.
a price ticket on myself.
No, not at all.
No,
I wouldn't even sell you.
I wouldn't sell you either.
Ah.
Humans were created by this giant cosmic cow licking a stone, and as it licked this stone, the humans rolled off.
I think we are a process of evolution. I think we are not the top of the pinnacle. We are just a branch, I think. Well, they're always looking for this missing link, aren't they? And they've never found it yet. The connection between us and monkeys. I mean, what sort of idiot wants to prove he's come from a monkey? I just think, at the end of the day, it's about genetic transport. Basically, we're just hauling genomes along in a bag, which is our body, from century to century. I think that's what it's all about, folks, you know. I like to put food out for them,
Bread or
especially in the
nuts?
winter, because you see them in the trees and they're sort of looking a bit nonplussed, aren't they? But I put one of those peanut things out recently, thinking I was doing them a good turn, and it was like 10 weeks later, there was no visible sign of any nut disappearing, and I thought, well, what's this all about? I don't know.
How'd you open the bag?
Well, you don't open the bag, do you? They're supposed to go through the bag, aren't they?
The only thing you can do is not to make eye contact, of course. As soon as you make eye contact, it just has you. I think it's because you're easy prey. You're a nice little bit of meat here. Nice and small, I could soon whip him round. Perhaps that's what they do. I think, he's quite vulnerable, I'll have this one.
How do birds stay up in the air? It's all to do with aerodynamics, and that's far too complicated for me to go into now.
Some things aren't worth thinking about, are they like that?
Not all birds stay up in the air, do they?
No, they don't.
If you dropped an emu out of an aircraft, it wouldn't stay in the air, would it?
No.
Actually, I find that one of the most relaxing sounds there is, birds singing.
Yeah, lovely.
The whole conspiracy thing about aliens is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, why on earth would they visit us to fly around in some farmer's back garden in the back end and beyond in Suffolk to just bugger off again. It just doesn't make sense whatsoever. And the whole thing about UFOs in the sky is just beyond me.
Well, what is a UFO?
You know what a UFO is?
What does it stand for?
I can't remember. Something. What is it?
So anything that you don't identify that flies past you is a UFO, isn't it? So basically, if it's a bird that you don't recognise, what's that? You get the book out, you can't identify it. That was a UFO, wasn't it?
No, you're being silly.
I've no idea what aliens would look like. They could look like anything. They might just be a ball of gas, or an idea, or a particular coloured light.
The whole conspiracy thing about aliens is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, why on earth would they visit us to fly around in some farmer's back garden in the back end and beyond in Suffolk to just bugger off again? It just doesn't make sense whatsoever. And the whole thing about UFOs in the sky is just beyond me.
Well, what is a UFO?
You know what a UFO is?
Well, I think a lot of the portrayal of aliens comes from people who say they've seen aliens or they've been beamed up by aliens. Some of these stories people come out with.
Do you think they are stories, or do you think they're true?
There's no doubt in my mind that these people have had an experience.
No, I think that's nonsense, to be honest. I think people have either had too much to drink or they've just got very imaginative imagination. It's just pants. I don't believe in it.
Excuse me. I think I'm an oddity. I've got a foot in both camps, really, and I appreciate either animal for very different qualities.
I like dogs better than cats, though.
I don't.
They seem to be more friendly somehow. Dogs like greet you, whereas cats just sit. They can sleep for so long. No.
Cats can appear to be lazy, but I don't think they are. I think you get more out of a dog in response.
Well, they're more interesting, aren't they?
I think they're thicker than cats, personally.
Do you?
I do.
Dogs I like very much because of their great intelligence and loyalty generally, and just so animated and, you know, great chums.
I've been chased by a Great Dane, a slavering big thing, and it frightened me. I've been bitten by a beagle. I've been chased by an old English sheepdog, which was, I would say that was a springboard into me becoming a Christian.
Mm. You always say dogs come sniffing at your private parts.
Do I?
That's one thing you always say.
Well, they told me they're not, that they're just being affectionate.
Most pedigree dogs, to get them perfect, they've got things wrong with them. It's either the bull terrier, the bulldog can hardly breathe because they bred into them, that flattened face. It's a bulldog, isn't it? And a lot of the breeds have suffered. Ones who show a cross.
They look ridiculous with silly bows. Look stupid.
You know, I've never had any breed that's been a kind of a pampered, you know, pooch. You know.
But I think dogs are more. For a start, I think they smell more. Whereas a cat, you can leave a cat to it. Whereas with a dog.
Yeah, but if you've got a burglar coming in your house, at least a dog makes a noise.
Yeah, but you could throw the cat at the burglar.
That's a silly thing to say. Dogs are more interesting, and that's the end of it.
No, it's not the end of it.
We're great beach people, but not sunburning, but not sunbathing. The bottom line is we never sunbathe.
I've always felt uncomfortable with hot weather. I don't like hot weather. I don't like it. So And you don't either.
No,
do
I
you?
can't
So
stand
we're agreed on that.
Yeah, indeed. My wife and I holiday annually in Cornwall or Devon. My wife actually must have sea and coast on her holiday agenda, so that over the many years, even though all our holidays have been in Britain, we've only once been to a non-coastal county, which is Shropshire. We had a fine holiday there, but the need to be near the sea nevertheless draws us back time and time again.
I think the favourite beach that I do is right up there where you can see the cliffs at Scarborough, where the donkey ride. It's on the south side, on the north side. I think that's the nicest part, and Bridlington Beach. But I think the Scarborough Beach is the nicest one that I've ever been to.
In our own part of the world, we're extremely attached to Whitby, and visited in what's called our Whitby season, which is from October to March.
I can't sunbathe for very long because I had a very hot summer. I got sunstroke and I can't sit out in it too long. I can sit for so long, I sit for an hour, get some plenty of cream on, but after that I start feeling sickly and I've got to come in.
At the end of the day, what's it doing? It's cooking you, isn't it? The sun is actually cooking you.
Plus
That's
I get
why
heat
you go
rash.
brown.
If I'm in it for 10 minutes I get a heat rash.